Administration officials have stated that President Joe Biden is scheduled to unveil a new policy that would shield hundreds of thousands of undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation. Those who have lived in the nation for 10 years or longer are eligible to apply for the action, which will grant them legal employment status in the U.S. This represents the largest relief effort for undocumented immigrants currently residing in the United States since the Obama administration's 2012 announcement of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. The White House anticipates benefits for over 500,000 U.S. citizen spouses, as well as over 50,000 children under 21 whose parents are U.S. citizens. Mr. Biden promised to make the U.S. immigration system more fair and more just earlier in June. According to polls, a lot of voters' top concerns before this November's presidential election are immigration-related. The news being made in advance of a celebration on Tuesday to commemorate the 12-year anniversary of the DACA program, which prevented the deportation of over 530,000 immigrants who entered the U.S. as minors and are known as dreamers. Senior administration officials stated on Monday that undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens would be eligible if they were married on June 17th and had been residents of the nation for 10 years. A 3-year work visa and a 3-year period to apply for permanent residency will be granted to those who meet the requirements. The White House estimates that those who qualify for the procedure have lived in the U.S. for 23 years on average. Most of them will be Mexican natives. While their status is being modified, they will be paroled in place and permitted to stay in the U.S. The new approach has drawn criticism from Numbers USA, an organization that supports stricter immigration laws, calling it unconscionable. Rather than stopping the worst border crisis in history, President Biden has overreached his executive authority to use an unconstitutional process, circumventing voters and their elected representatives in Congress to send a message that amnesty is available to those who enter the United States illegally, stated the organization's chief executive James Massa in a statement. While the action affected a narrow group, according to immigration lawyer and Case Western Reserve University in Ohio, Alex Quick, told the BBC that it marked a start for a segment of the U.S. immigrant population that, even if eligible, would traditionally face difficulties normalizing their status in the country. A good majority of them would have in order to come back lawfully, he stated. It's like they physically enter the U.S., but their immigration soul doesn't come with them. According to Mr. Quick, authorities kill off the need to separate families when one spouse must leave the nation in order to apply for lawful permanent residency by enabling beneficiaries to parole in place. By the end of the summer, the application procedure should be available, a senior administration official stated on Monday. Additionally, the White House intends to expedite and simplify the visa application process for highly qualified undocumented immigrants, including dreamers who have graduated from U.S. colleges or who have secured an offer of employment in their field. 2 weeks prior, Mr. Biden made a broad executive order enabling U.S. officials to deport individuals who are entering the country illegally without first considering their bids for asylum. That will occur when the border is overwhelmed and a daily threshold is reached, according to a statement from the White House. The Biden administration was sued last week by the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, which claimed that the action was illegal under U.S. immigration law. Mr. Biden advised, "Be patient," from those who thought the policy was too strict at the time of the announcement. In the weeks ahead, I will speak to how we can make our immigration system more fair and just, he stated. Although the two statements don't intersect with each other at all, according to American Immigration Council Policy Director Aaron Reichlin-Melnick, the more recent measure would assist the administration get some positive headlines after the pushback they experienced over the border announcement. The Biden administration has been receiving a lot of flack from people saying that their focus has all been on new arrivals, when there are so many long-term undocumented immigrants stuck trying to navigate our complicated immigration system, he stated. I think the actions you've seen the president taking over the last few weeks really go towards addressing both those concerns, said Reichlin Melnick.